Ah. Mel is already on the live stream. Hi, Mel. Hello. Thank you so much for watching us today. Hi, everybody. My name is Mary Manzano, and I'm here with Liza at the Requisos on Twitter. And today we are doing the weekend habit. And our topic for this weekend is the international teacher. What's it like to teach outside of your home country? We are currently live on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as Periscope. So if you're in any of those platforms, please go ahead and answer some of your questions or give us your comments on the comment stream. So I've got Mel right here. Hello. We were 1 minute late actually because I had a phone call. Right. You know who you are. There. How are you, Lisa? It's World Food Day, by the way, everybody. So it's hashtag World Food Day today. So if there is something that you'd like to eat, I think I'm going to be posting my introduction email. Hi, Adriana. Oh, you're back. You're back in Auckland. That's nice. There you go. And I'd like to say hello to everybody who's joining us today. And on Twitter, our hashtag is hashtag GuroChat. Guro is a teacher. It means teacher in Filipino. So every week we do this at 9:30 p.m. Eastern or 9:30 a.m. Saturday, Manila time. So or Singapore time, right? Right. So Mel was saying I thought Adriana was in KL or Singapore. Um, yes, I that's what I thought, but maybe are you back on the repatriation flight? I don't know, but how about you, Lisa? You were in a repatriation flight before, and
Yes,
then
I was.
you're back now. You're back
Yes.
now.
But I came back using a commercial flight.
Okay, using a commercial flight
Yeah.
there. So Adriana was saying, "Oh yes, I was in Malaysia, and now we need to go to Indonesia." Oh, that's exciting! That is exciting, Adriana. That's nice. I love Indonesia. Love the food. Mel is saying that he's in Cali, but
Colombia.
from Oz. But you're from Australia. Yes, I love Oz. I actually just posted that I'm missing going to Sydney. Sydney's one of my favorite places in the world. There. Okay, so let me just share my screen over here. Mhm. I hope everybody's doing great this weekend. There. So I'm not an international teacher, but I thought to give a little bit of a spotlight to my co-moderator today because usually on the Weekend Habit we are joined by um, two other co-mods, and that's Riza Picho and Alfonso Mangubat, who are unfortunately
Absent.
absent today. So there. Uh, so Alfonso, hello, and also Riza. I know that both of you are watching, and I'll see you again next week. And also for those of you who are watching who would like to maybe be one of our co-mods in our next Weekend Habit, please ping me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is underscore Mary Manzano, or you can just go to the GTech Guru site and ping me there if you want to be part of the live stream in the future. I like that there's this ongoing conversation happening now in the comment stream between Mel and Adriana. Mel, you moved to South America last year. Wow, that's like a huge move for you,
Yeah.
right? I am just going to hash our rules for today. So just make sure that if you're commenting on Twitter, use the hashtag GuroChat when replying in your tweets or when posting about the weekend habit on social media. And of course, we are going to be using our Q1A1 format for today, which means that we'll be posting our questions in Q1. When you answer, just prefix your tweet with A1 and of course the hashtag GuruChat. So Mel was saying, yeah, from Taiwan to Colombia. It has been fun. This is really exciting. Mel, I'm so happy that you're here in this chat because you definitely will be giving us a lot of insight. Lisa, where have you been in the world?
Well, uh, my uh, my first international teaching job was in Tbilisi, Georgia. So I
Yeah,
taught there for 3 years. So that's in the Caucasus region. So
yeah,
that is like Central Asia,
Central Asia.
yeah, Eastern Europe kind of.
Isn't it really cold there though? Like Georgia is extremely cold.
It can get cold, not like Kazakhstan, but it can
Okay.
get quite cold.
Mm-hmm.
So not a lot of precipitation, though, not a lot of snow,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of rain. So if you go to the mountains, yes, there will be snow. But
Okay.
in the city, there's hardly any snow at that time when I was there. But
Yeah.
apparently, like 2 years ago, that 2 years
Mhm.
prior we arrived, there was like a very heavy winter. So
Yeah.
like they canceled school, like snow days and stuff. Not when
That's
we were there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I mean, I miss winter. As all of you know, we are in Manila, Philippines. I'm from Manila and have been broadcasting from here. And the thing is, we do not have winter here. It's
Yeah.
there are only two seasons in the Philippines. It's only sunny and rainy. So if it's
Right.
not sunny, it's rainy. But every time it's like the rainy season, that's
Yes.
around July to September. That's the winter time down under, and I really like being in Australia during that period. Right. So, um, Mel is saying, I love the Philippines. I've only been there twice or three times. You should come back when
Yes.
everything is over, of course, after the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a
Absolutely.
beautiful country. There's just so much to see. And I feel like even when you're a Filipino, you will not have any shortage of islands to visit. We've got
Oh yeah,
7,000 of
for
them.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
What is your favorite food from Bangladesh?
From where I am now, there's this
Mm-hmm.
it's called the fuchka. So it's
Uh-huh.
a shell, it's a crispy shell, and then inside, I'm not sure, I think it's potatoes and some
Yeah,
vegetables like mashed. I'm not sure if it's mashed potato,
yeah,
something mashed.
yeah.
A root crop that's mashed, and then it has
Mm-hmm.
some tamarind sauce in it.
And
Then
then
you put,
it's in a pocket kind of thing, right? Like a roti
yes,
that
it's a
you put.
shell. It's not
Yeah,
a roti, it's like a
it's a
crispy
blue.
shell.
Yeah. So, right, I
Yeah.
make that at home. I love Indian food, so I make that at home. So it's actually just when you make it like a roti, but you deep fry it. So you
Yes,
basically
it's deep
slip it,
fried.
and then when you deep fry it, it's so nice to see it like blow up,
Right, right, yeah.
and then you just
So
fish it out.
yeah,
It's
so they
nice.
have like they put a tamarind sauce on it,
Yeah,
and so it's actually multi-layered
yeah,
because the tamarind sauce is kind of sweet and
yes,
spicy, and then the veggies like the raw onion, the other things that are very crispy, and then you have the mashed
yeah,
veg. So yeah,
yeah.
so it's
It's
a
nice.
nice delight on one.
It is. It is. It's very
Yep.
good.
Yeah,
I also like that it's really great as a vegetarian dish. I mean, if you're
it
gonna go
is.
vegetarian, I mean, we're here in the Philippines. It's a pork country. It's pork and
It
shrimp
is.
country. Here, very difficult to survive when you're a vegetarian in the Philippines. Mel is saying I like pan de boros. I wonder what they pan de bonos. I wonder
Is
what
it
those
bread?
are. What
Are
are
they bread?
those? Yeah, it sounds like bread because of the pan.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's
Mel,
research it.
yeah, we're gonna just have to Google it. Mel said I visited Sagada. Oh, did you do
Oh,
any spelunking as well as a lot of hiking in Sagada? So good. Sagada is nice and it's cool. Like that's one of the cooler places here in Manila. It's so good.
So
Yeah.
pan de bono is a Colombian cheese bread.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Colombian cheese bread.
Like
Looks
legit.
yummy.
It does. It does. Right. So I have my Q1 up already. How did you get started with teaching internationally? That's my first question.
I actually got in. It's a foot in the door kind of situation. So
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get. Uh, I was able to apply to an international school as a
Mm-hmm.
local teacher. So I
Okay.
started actually in the Philippines.
All right.
That's where I started my journey as an international teacher. So I got in an international school in the Philippines, and
Mm-hmm.
then from there, even if you are a local teacher, you still get trained.
Right.
So you got into training, and then the approach as well is very holistic. So basically, you just soak it up like a sponge, and then when you're ready, you can go. So
That's true. Right.
that's how we did it. So, but I did stay with that school for 6 years. So it
Mm-hmm.
was really a great school. But
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a local teacher, which I completely understand, my salary, well, not my salary, but my benefits are not the same as if you
Mm-hmm.
are an expat teacher.
I like,
So,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I like Adriana's answer here. She said, I joined an international school agency from England, which gave me my first teaching job in Egypt.
Right.
Wow.
So I
Um,
did join, not an agency, but more like what do you call this? Like a database. So I joined the International Educator, which is
mm,
TIE, because
mm,
at that time that was the only thing that I could afford.
okay.
Because
I
Search
think,
Associates is quite expensive. Yes.
yeah. So Mel was saying I used Search
Yeah.
Associates. Yeah. And he went to a, Mel, I'm
Jump.
not sure if you're a he or a she. Can you just let me know in the comments because I don't know whether to call you a he or a she because Mel can be both, right? Was focusing actually looking at a school from China. Like, I know somebody. Just give a shout out right now to Tina. Um, there, the Mel is a she. To Tina Peji and to Sandra Chow, who are both in Beijing, right? And thank you so much for say like retweeting a while ago and I hope that Sandra or Tina will be able to join us in the Twitter chat there. So not sure if it's the same school that you're looking at, but the school that they're in is Keystone, I think, and it looks like a really amazing school based on the stuff that they've been doing. So Melissa, okay, Mel is short for Melissa. There, I taught at an IB school in Kaohsiung.
Hmm. Taiwan, is it?
When you're teaching internationally, does that mean that you also have to learn the language a little bit? Like when you were in Georgia, the language would have been different, a little bit
So,
Russian.
so actually, Georgian is one of the oldest languages.
Mhm.
One of the oldest languages that we have, like the whole world. It's one of the
Yes.
oldest. So the problem with Georgian is it is a very difficult language to learn.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I only know like something to survive on.
Okay.
Like
Direction.
directions, yeah, left or right, stop,
Yeah.
how much,
Yeah.
how are you, thank you, excuse me. So apparently, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken, they don't have a word for please.
Mm-hmm.
So what they have is a really the word for please that they have is a really old. It's like if you use that word, that means you're very old. So
Oh, okay.
it
Yeah.
didn't evolve. So if when I use it, people are like, "Oh, who's it? Why are you using that word?" Because no, it's so old school that word. So
Yeah.
so like Yeah, so actually you don't really need. It does help to learn the language. It's of course,
Mm,
because then it would make it easier for you to go into the market
right.
and say some stuff, just the local things. Yeah. So
Mhm.
definitely it helps, but you don't have to.
Yeah, okay. It's really amazing to me, like a new language. I like learning new languages. Like I like that Adriana was saying here that she's been on the international scene for 13 years. It's a long time, and word of mouth and networking has become much more important. That's true. Like when you get recommended and
Right.
you get known, right? So
Yes.
and also, some of your colleagues would be moving to some of the other international schools and may also pull you
Yes.
into the school that they're in, right? I think that
Yes.
also plays such a big factor.
Yes,
Um,
yes. That's true.
so I'm going to move to my second question now. What was your biggest adjustment when you started teaching in the country you're in now?
I think assimilating
Mm.
with the culture. And then, of course, it's always like a beginner setup. So it's always like you're starting from scratch. You're
Mhm.
creating your new home. So
Right,
you're getting the things that you need for your home because you can't bring everything, right?
right.
And
Yeah,
then finding your local places.
right.
Like you have to rework that again into your life. So
Hmm.
back when we were living in Tbilisi, there we have a lot of local places. It was easy to get around
Hmm.
because it's just you just go out and then you just walk.
Right,
But
right.
here it's different. Like here you
Hmm.
have to find your car or you have to get an Uber to get to
Hmm.
places that you want. And then
Yeah.
finding your grocery, so like those things that you have
Mhm.
to.
Do you
So for
bring like
me,
Filipino
yeah,
stuff? Like for example,
yeah,
every time you travel, if I know I'm gonna travel and then stay in that place for a little longer than usual, I bring I put my favorite food there, which is sinigang na hipon. That's a sour
yeah,
tamarind soup. I actually
yeah,
bring the little packets of
yeah,
tamarind just so I
yeah.
don't have to hunt for it when I move to another like
So like
country.
we'll buy tamarind, the sinigang mix na gabi,
Yes.
like we'll
Yeah.
bring that, the sachet, and then we'll
Yeah.
bring my kids' favorite cereal. Although because you can buy them here, but
Yeah.
it's a lot cheaper when we bring them from the Philippines.
That's true.
So
That's
whatever is
true.
cheaper, yeah. So whatever's cheaper, we buy it there and then we bring them here.
Mel was saying,
Danggit,
oh, go ahead.
no, we buy danggit,
Oh, nice. Nice.
tuyo.
Because it's
Yeah,
so
so
difficult to find, right? It's
yeah,
difficult to
yeah, yeah,
find.
yeah.
And
So
then
yun.
Mel was saying moving to Colombia has been like an adventure and a challenge for me. Why do you think it was an
Yes.
adventure? Um, Yeah, Mel said Taiwan to Colombia, a different world. I could
Yep.
imagine how different
Right.
that would be. Like the culture is totally different, the language different, as well as the people. The people would have a totally different culture as well. And
Right.
Adriana said moving from a public school to a private institution, the parents rule the roost, and you have to adjust to a business model. That is so true there. And our absentee moderator is right here saying hello.
Hi, Laffy.
Right. Lavi has been also targeting working internationally. And yes, good luck to that. Good luck to your hunt. And then Mel is saying, and the language is something that you need to
Yes.
adjust to.
Right.
That is true. So much more touchy feely. That is true. The Taiwanese are not very,
Yes.
and I think being Latinos are generally just
Right.
touchy
It's in their
feely.
culture.
It's in the culture,
Yeah.
right? They're very
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah. Very warm. Yeah.
Um, Here in the Philippines, I think we are a very good mix in the Philippines
Yes.
because we are both conservative and not as conservative of some of the other countries in Southeast Asia.
Right.
So it is nice to be here. At least that's the feedback that I get from expats who come over. They say that
Right.
Filipinos are just a happy race there. And Mel said that people are just loud. That the people look like they're shouting, but they're not shouting. They're actually
Right,
just
right. I've
we
noticed
have
that
a,
as well. When you don't understand,
yeah,
like always the feeling is like, oh, are they shouting at me? But no, they're just okay, because you're not familiar with how they, the intonation and all
yes.
that. So I feel like that is also, I completely, Mel, yes, I feel you.
So Mel, did you learn how to like dance? Because that's one of the things that Colombians are very, popular. It's very popular for Latinos to dance. Here in the Philippines, there are some places that I go to at least before the pandemic that that have bachata and kizomba, which are really nice Latin dances and social dances. And also they all want me to dance salsa.
They all want me to dance salsa. So fun.
Try to convince me to learn because it's Colombia. You have to learn how to do salsa.
Right, right.
Melted. I was like, no. Here in the Philippines, we've got some really great places here where you can learn. There are salsa nights as well. Like I sometimes go to some of the salsa nights places and then learn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dancing is also part of the culture. Dancing and singing. I think we love anything that is celebratory. Filipinos love that.
Anything performance based.
Anything performance based, that's true. We love to sing, we love to
Yeah.
dance.
Any type of something that we can put in a variety show. We love it,
Yeah,
right? Our
that's true.
culture is more of a variety show wherein we can showcase our talent and any type of production number.
Yeah.
Filipinos are,
You'll know who the Filipino is in your
yeah.
team if you give him or her a mic and you can't get it back in karaoke.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
karaoke.
That's
Yeah,
that.
so
That's just, it's a typical stereotype, but so far,
it's so
many
true.
Filipinos that I meet, yes,
It's so
especially
true.
overseas, yeah, they have their own karaoke machine at home.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why
Yeah,
not? And there's always YouTube. So what's good about the experience of teaching in your school? What do you like the most about teaching in the school that you are in right now?
I think this is for me personally overall. All the experiences that I've had, it's always um, looking at best practices,
Yeah.
and um, you're able to benchmark as well with
Yeah.
other colleagues who work in other schools who benchmark their practices with other schools.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you get a different perspective of what good teaching looks like.
Yeah.
Um, so when I first started teaching in an international school back home,
Hmm.
um, there were so many things that I needed to unlearn because I used to teach in a local school and it is completely different coming into
Hmm.
an international school, because then in the Philippines it's highly specialized. So like if you teach math, you only teach math for primary or elementary.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
um, in in um, in international schools, usually it's self-contained. So
Right.
as a homeroom teacher, you teach math, you teach science, you teach social studies, and
Hmm.
English or literacy. So you're the one who handles that. So that is
Hmm.
something that yeah. So that is something that I had to unlearn, and
Hmm.
I think as well. You know what I really like? The collegiality. I mean, if you
Hmm.
are lucky to get into a school wherein collegiality is
Hmm.
emphasized.
Hmm.
I've been telling, I remember like we would always chat about it, and I
Hmm.
would tell Riza that PE is never second class.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
PE is treated like the teacher is as important as the homeroom teacher. It is
Right.
not like, oh, we have spare time, let's make them do PE. No, it's never. And that's what I like. I like the treatment that what he or she is teaching is as important as what you are teaching. So
Yeah.
that, and I like that emphasis that you look at the whole child,
Mm-hmm.
and not just you have to be only good in math or you only have to be good in English. So
Right.
that's what I like about it.
Mm. Nice. I like that. I like that certain subjects are considered to be primary as well,
Yeah,
and do not take a back seat to some of the
no,
STEM subjects and some of the primary
right,
subjects. People would focus on the maths and your sciences and your English, but does not really take a focus on the arts and
right.
PE and physical education. When you have to put a focus on that, and I really think that well, just quoting the late Sir Ken Robinson, right? He did that TED talk on schools killing creativity, and I really feel that schools
Yep.
do that when they allow these subjects to take a backseat. I like some of the answers so far. I can see Adriano saying working with people from all around the world, such a wide variety of
Yes.
perspectives and ideas. I love it. And even Alfonso saying that he worked in a local international school and the PD was, he loved the
Yeah.
PD there. And also Mel is also saying that super interesting to learn about another school's culture, both IB schools, but so
So
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
And
true.
right now, the only international hire on the math team. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that
don't
is
know
a
if
good
that's gonna be a good thing or a bad thing, or is it a good
right.
thing or a bad thing? Right? Can
I
be
hope it's a
both.
good thing for Mel.
Yeah,
Like it's a good thing for her. Like it's a good experience for her and
yeah.
for the school as well. I'm sure.
Yeah, because you guys are actually bringing in a lot of your international experience over to
Yes,
the schools that you are teaching in. And
right,
I think that brings me to another question, which is not here in my slides, but my question is more is it something that you recommend teachers do? I really remember before that Australia has this like exchange teacher kind of program because
right.
Betcha Boy, the Googler who's heading the adoption team for Google and ANZ, he
Right.
said he taught in Canada in an exchange teacher program where
Yes.
The Canadian teacher taught in Australia and he moved to Canada for I don't know how long, but do we have
Right.
that here in the Philippines?
Yes.
Is that a program that's
It's
available?
it's called the VIF or visiting. What is it? I wanted to apply to that, wherein it's
Yeah,
not an exchange,
yeah,
but you get to visit the states and teach there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you get to teach in a in a public school in the states. So
Mm-hmm,
visiting international faculty, if I'm not
mm-hmm,
mistaken, that's the name of
mm-hmm.
it. I'm not sure. I think they still have it. So it
Yeah,
is also an opportunity for you to, but that is more like you have a contract for 2 years and then you go home. So
right.
that's how
It's not
VIF works. But if
right.
I am not mistaken, I've already had some colleagues who were able to
Mm-hmm,
go through VIF and
mm-hmm.
then the school liked them, so they changed
Got
their
approved.
visa into a
Mm,
resident. So
right,
yeah,
right.
so that's how
Yeah,
some of them were able to stay. So that's more like a way for you to stay already to migrate.
yeah,
But teaching internationally, there's no migration. It's a
mm,
temporary migration,
yeah,
basically.
right.
So yeah.
So I just wanna just say here that again, be phenomenal, right? I think that's the that's your takeaway there. Like wherever you are, just be phenomenal, so that if
Yeah,
you're temporary, you become
absolutely.
permanent, right?
Yeah, no, I think as well as, like first this is a personal opinion on what's good
Mm-hmm,
about it. Because I
mm-hmm,
have a family and I
mm-hmm,
have my children. So
mm-hmm.
if I'm in the Philippines, I cannot afford
Yeah,
international education. And there are some schools that provide tuition for your children to get into
Mhm.
the school that you are teaching.
Mhm,
So they
mhm.
also have access to holistic education. So
It's
that's
nice.
for me, that's a plus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big plus for you to have your kids with you, and your
Yes.
husband also is a teacher
Yes.
and
Yes.
a really
Oh yeah.
wacky
Yeah.
preschool teacher, right? Super
Absolutely.
wacky with all the wigs and the
Yeah.
costumes, right?
Yes.
I like Mel here saying that they're introducing math, being taught in English instead of Spanish.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is
you're gonna have
interesting.
you're gonna have
I
to
wonder
up your Duolingo game.
I wonder why, like why the school decided. Well,
Yeah.
we should DM.
I like that. Thank you, Mel, for your kind words. Like I saw in the chat that you said you love the chat. That is me
Oh,
spamming the
I
YouTube
see.
chat. You know, there's a reason why we did this. Usually, Twitter chat is just really a Twitter chat. It just happens on Twitter. But we realized that there's just so many things that we want to say that cannot fit into that time 140 characters. And it's just kind of, it's not everybody's on Twitter, especially for
Right.
our Filipino teachers. A lot of them are not in on Twitter. They're on Facebook, and they prefer watching on Facebook. And of course, they don't have time sometimes to join the chat so early in the morning on a Saturday. So they
Yep.
prefer to really watch what's happening afterwards, right? So we decided to make it into a vodcast. So this is actually a vodcast, and the recording of this is going to be in the Gura Chat podcast as well. We save both the recordings on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page, as well as on our Periscope. So it's actually there everywhere. It's not as fleeting as your Twitter chats, because Twitter chats tend to be really fleeting, and that's
Yeah,
really
it's
bad.
really it's fast paced. It's really
Super
fast
fast
paced.
paced, right? There
Yeah.
is, I have to say though that I like long form that way. I love educators who blog, who
Right.
take the time to really blog and do long form, because
Right.
short form is great for discussions, but long form for more, if you want to get more, I guess, more information, long form is the preferred method. So I've got here, what advice do you have for anyone who wants to try teaching internationally? Alfonso is currently tuned in and would like to know more.
Definitely get experience for teaching an international curriculum.
Mhm.
So I think that was the reason why my husband and I were able to get in, because we were locally hired, but we were teaching in an international school.
Mhm,
So we already have experience in so the curriculum that well, not the framework that we use is the IBPYP, which is the International Baccalaureate
mhm. Right.
Primary Years Program. And you can't get that training just anywhere. So you have
Mhm,
to get into a PYP school, and we do have
mhm.
that in the Philippines.
Okay.
So when you are a Filipino, my suggestion is look for a PYP school that is willing to train you and get
Mhm,
in, like learn what you can, and then
mhm.
when you're ready, then you can go. So the minimum requirement is 2 years
Right.
teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my
So
suggestion.
Mel is going teach MYP and DP.
Right. So that's
Right.
also the International Baccalaureate for middle school
Mhm.
and 11 and
Mhm.
12. So that's senior high school for us.
Right, right. And Mel said there are some, like in the long form and short form. There's some slow chats for Twitter as well. We're actually gonna
Yeah.
start doing a slow chat this week, because
Right.
as much as I love the Twitter chat and the weekend habit, we call this the weekend habit, hashtag Guru Chat. As much as I love the weekend habit, there are times when I just want to span a whole week of worth of discussion,
Right.
because there are so many people in our PLN in so many different parts of the world, and it's just hard to get them into this 1 hour this
Right.
one thing because they're
Absolutely.
sleeping. So slow
Yeah.
chats are great for that. You just have one question per day. And for next week, we actually have, for the following week, we have mentoring experiences. That is our slow chat topic, right? So,
Absolutely.
how about you guys? What are your Mel and Adriana? What are your advice? What's your advice?
Advice.
Mel said, "Yep, I was lucky. I
Right.
had no previous experience in an IB school when I got to Kaohsiung in Taiwan, but I had taught for a few years in Australia. So I
Australia.
was lucky to get into an IB school." That was
Absolutely.
Mel said, "Why is it called Guro Chat?" Guro means teacher. Guro means teacher in Filipino. So
Hmm.
that it's actually just teacher chat.
Yep.
But since those are probably all taken, so we
Yeah.
decided we wanted something short, but we wanted to have a Filipino flavor because the regular moderators are all Filipinos. And
Yes.
although we did have EdChat PH before, we decided to kind of make it into a totally different format. So it needed a new hashtag, right?
Yeah.
So your advice is to be open and
Absolutely.
be ready for change, be
Yeah.
ready for an adventure.
Yes.
That's good. I love it.
Right.
I love it so much. Were there any places um, that you like to go to, like the places that you discovered in your country in Bangladesh, for example? I don't know how long have you been there?
This is already like kind of like 2.5 years, maybe.
Okay.
It's like 2.5 years here.
Mm,
The problem is because there's five of us in the family, we couldn't
mm,
really explore, like, let's say if I want to go to Sri Lanka, because
yeah.
that's pretty close here.
Right.
The airline tickets are very expensive.
Oh wow.
So even if staying there is cheaper than, let's
Mm,
say, me going to Thailand,
right.
like staying there is a lot cheaper, but the flights are just expensive. So
Yeah, prohibitively.
as
Yeah.
much as yeah, as much as we want to travel, we can't
Mm,
like we have to set aside money for that to happen.
yeah. Especially with
But we
the
do.
kids.
Yes, yeah. So, but well, with now we're thinking of we're trying to figure out how to get around the country as well if we can.
Mm,
So it's not
yeah.
that easy though because we're not
Mm,
local. So it's we need a local to help us to
that's
get
right.
around. Yeah.
Segueing to that, Mel was saying make connections in the country you are going to
Yes.
beforehand. You know what? This is like couch surfing from way, way back, Mel.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
because when you're couch surfing, it's nice to make those connections before you even go to the country. And then you have a local that's giving you all of the really best spots because
Absolutely.
I like that. I like that about couch surfing before. And that's also the reason why I used to do dinner parties for couch surfers who come to the Philippines so that they can get, the flavor of the country from a local and not from any tourist
Yeah.
blog
Oh yeah.
because it's
Yeah. Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah.
He said, I love Taiwan. In my second year, I got a car and became obsessed with finding waterfalls. Oh, because you love waterfalls and trekking. There's so many waterfalls here,
Yeah.
Mel. So many waterfalls here. You should really come back to the Philippines. There's so many nice hidden places where there are those like small
Yeah.
waterfalls and the big ones as well. But we don't have the huge waterfalls like in Canada or in other
Ah.
places.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here, it's more gentle, the waterfalls that we
Yeah.
have. The kind of waterfalls where you can jump into, the lake. That's the kind of waterfalls that we have. So good. And then you would go out and explore and become like a tour guide for some people,
Right.
right?
That's true.
Yes. So let me know, Mel. We're now connected on Twitter. I'm definitely I don't know if I'm following you already, but I'm gonna I'm gonna follow you. Well, I'm following you, and yeah, when you come back to the Philippines, then please hit me up, and I'd like to show you some of the really great places here as well because I've been around. I did the DepEd project before, and that allowed me to travel
Yeah.
the Philippines extensively and see a lot
Yes.
of hidden places.
Mary
Right?
would be a great tour guide. Tour and
I've been,
food. Tour and food guide of the Philippines.
yeah, I know like a lot of the places as well as the language. Like almost every province here has a different dialect,
Yep.
and I come from like half south, half north from my mom and dad. So I understand the south and I understand the north as well. So
Right.
I can get around, I can get by. But there's Tagalog anyway there. So Mel said I don't know when I will go back, to be honest. You know what? Most of the borders are closed right now. It's really hard to tell when we'll be able to travel. It's like all my suitcases think I died. They probably
That's
think
true.
I'm dead already. What happened to her? I used to have
Yeah.
like a go bag, always packed. It's always packed. As soon as I come back, I change the clothes in the go bag so that I'll be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Like
Oh,
for
really?
yeah, I had a go bag always packed, and
Wow.
because sometimes like people would call me and say, "But are you okay to travel and then to train?" And I would go,
Right.
"Okay, yeah." I'll just like I am already packed. Always, almost
Right.
already.
Right.
I
Right.
can
You
leave
you
at a
have a
moment's
set.
notice.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
the hardest part about COVID for me was opening that suitcase and taking all of the go bag
Things
clothes out.
out. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
long time before we go back to traveling. But yeah, I have my final question here. Do you have a dream country or school to teach in? Where is it and why?
I used to have a dream country, but now that I have two schools internationally and a third international school kind of. It's more of the school that you want to teach in rather than the
The
country.
country.
So like for me, I focus first on the school when I apply. I always
Mhm.
look at the school first and
Mhm.
what will be best for me professionally and for my husband professionally and for our
Mhm.
children
The
as
kids,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you won't really get the idea of what a school culture is like unless you are there. But at the same time, you can already, kind of like close that in and figure
Yeah.
out, I think this will be a better school for me than
Mm-mm.
this other school. So, yeah. So really, I don't now, like right now, I've come to this point in my life wherein um, I don't have a dream country or dream school. I just want the right school for all of
Mhm.
us. So
Yeah,
that's what
nice.
I'm looking for. Yeah.
Does yeah,
So
does having a really good PLN in Twitter help?
yeah,
Because right? Because I feel like some of the teachers who teach in certain schools are really, really proud of being in that school. And you can really
right.
see in their tweets like how proud they are about all of the things they're doing in that school.
Yes.
And it becomes inspiring, right? It really
Yes.
becomes
Yeah.
inspiring.
In the international school circuit, it's very small.
Hmm.
So yeah. So I remember someone said it earlier, wherein you get to network and they get to keep in touch with them, and then they can actually share with you. Oh, there's an opening in this school. They can put
Yeah.
in a good word for you. Of course, you
Mhm.
still have to do the interview and all that.
Yes.
But I mean, if when they have your support, then they can easily sell your abilities to the administration. So that could also get your foot in the door in the school. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Mel said, I think I might want to go to Eastern Europe. That's where you've been. Georgia is Eastern Europe, right? Or Central Asia,
kind of, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I don't know. People
It's
have asked me
border.
where I want to go. It's like the border. I want to go after Colombia, but not 100% sure. And
Yeah, it's
yes,
the
on the
same.
Twitter PLN,
Yeah,
but the PLN is not from Colombia, but from the global
global
GEG.
GG.
Yeah, we are. I'm just gonna have to do a shout out to Stephanie Rothstein. I loved meeting Steph last year in the Innovator Academy in Southeast Asia. So she was part of SEA 19 or SEA 19 of the Google Innovator Academy, and I was there to run. I ran an advocacy camp for the Energizer for the older innovators. Right. So
Mm.
yeah, it's nice. I know. Steph is epic. She's amazing. She has so much energy, and I love that she invited me over to do that social powers thing because she said when she built Global GG, she realized that it was exploding like so fast, and that she needed marketing skills, and that she needed something that would make her marketing skills kind of expand and improve, and for the whole team to also understand how to do it in social media. And that was my advocacy camp, establishing your branding in the space that you choose. Because if you choose Twitter or if you choose YouTube, then how do you establish your branding in those spaces? So yeah, Steph is amazing. The two Stephanies are amazing. Stephanie Howell as well, and Abid Patel, really really great. Leslie Altman, also great from Australia. Um, Really amazing group. It's a huge group. So if ever you're in any part of the world, that's the nice thing about the global GEG. If you're in any part of the world, you can be part of it. You can contribute. You can be part of it and volunteer as well. Some of the information that you know, I like that. So I do want to make a quick announcement before we end this live stream broadcast, right? And this is for our slow chat. So we are going to start with the slow chat this week. It's still going to be hashtag Guru Chat. So we're not changing the hashtag for our slow chat, but it's just one question per day. Okay. So if you know a mentor or a coach that you know to participate in our slow chat for the week, that, if you know any mentor or coach that you feel should be giving us more tips on how to mentor or how to be a great mentee, for example, that would be great. Please tag them and just use the hashtag GuruChat so that they can see the question that we're going to be posting. So our topic this week is mentorship experiences. So if you've ever been a mentor before or a coach in your school or in any capacity, for example, I've been a coach in the Innovator Academy and I'm a mentor now for VIA 20. So I really would like more tips. This is really for me. I'm not gonna lie. This is really for me because I really would like to know more. I feel that the mentor experience is not that documented, and I'd like to
Right,
know a little bit more about what not to do and what are the best
right,
practices, so that you
right.
don't have to reinvent the wheel. Thank you, Melissa.
Yes.
So Mel is saying I shall put out a thing on Twitter. Yes. Thank you. Thanks for helping
Thank you,
out.
Mel.
Um,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mel. And then I'm happy that you joined us today. I love your short chats. You know what? The next time I'm just gonna get you into the live stream. I really
Yep.
feel your energy, even from the chat. I can feel your energy, and that's the kind of energy that we want in Guru Chat, right? So with that, I'd like to just say thank you to everybody who joined us for this week, and we'll see you again next week. And watch out for our Guru Chat questions every day. All right. So thank you again, everybody, and thanks Lisa for joining me and for sharing your experiences. Thanks Mel and thanks Adriana for participating, and also Alfonso. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Happy
Bye,
weekend.
everyone. Happy weekend.